Hey everybody! For this week, we're going to take a look at the Memphis game, and I'm going to do I'm going to do just the condensed game this time. I'm not going to go through every play. I don't think anybody wants to see that. If you do, you can let me know, but I think this will be enough for now. All right, so let's roll that beautiful bean footage, or not so beautiful. So first play from scrimmage. This is basically what I expected to see in this game. Just line up and maul him because this is an undersized Memphis front. So you've got one big dude here. He's about 315, 320. These two are just, he's like 245, he's 260, and he's like 235 or 240. You should be able to run straight ahead, and as long as you're getting your hands on these guys, you should be able to create vertical displacement. This is fine here. Now, I don't like this particular footwork from this group, from a lot of these guys. There's really no forward action on those initial steps, but all told, this is just inside split zone. This is what I think Florida State needs to run more of in terms of the running game, less counter, more of this stuff. Just get moving vertically. And the thing you like here, handle your guy here. You work your way up to the backer, work your way up to the backer. Get two guys to the second level. Back presses his gap and cut back right into the second A gap. And then you get a couple yards past that. That's pretty good. What's 8 yards? Got 4 after contact or 3 after contact. That's fine. So here you got wide zone. This is 2nd and 2. This looks fine. And you've got a pretty light box here. So you got, 4, 5, 6 here. They're in their 3-3 stack. They're playing with an even front here to match up against the FSU in this look. And FSU is just going to run wide zone. So all you're doing, trying to work your way here and up. So there, work your way up to the backer. And he's just going to, his aiming point is the outside butt cheek here. And then he's either going to press it or cut back. So on this one, this should be a press the outside read. You see that he's got leverage here. Then you're working your way up here. There's really no reason to cut this back yet. Right now, this is, I'd want him to press this longer. He's getting early on this. But you do have a cutoff back here. And there is a seam that's developing here. That's fine. And then you just get, this is snake bit. I mean, that's not the worst ball security. Now, you'd like to see him with 2 hands here, but helmet on the football goes backwards. And when this happened, it was like, oh man, like this just might be another, example of not FSU's year. It could be higher and tighter, and you'd like him to be 2 hands on the ball here, but again, helmet on the football's unfortunate. And they have the wherewithal to just fall on it instead of, geez, how many replays of that are they going to put on the condensed game? They had the wherewithal to just fall on it instead of being selfish and trying to pick it up. So defensively here, they're in a tight front here, which is interesting. So they went, 2 outside backers, and they're actually lining up. This is Peyton on the inside, and they're going to bring, this is almost like an Okie type front, but with one backer. So they're creating some one-on-ones, and then they're just having Marvin Jones stay out here, and they're going to try to get, essentially what you're trying to get is you're trying to occupy blocker, give him a run through. And then he's occupying here, and you have him drop into this space to take away your crosser. But problem is he doesn't get his eyes to where he should get his eyes. You don't just watch the quarterback here. You've got to find the potential crosser. Where is he wanting to go? So get your eyes. You are the replacement for this guy. So Marvin Jones needs to not just sit there. He needs to think a little bit, and then you try to find the work. Is this the guy that's coming here? Is this the guy? So you get your eyes quickly. If you can get your eyes right here, now you can match that, and it's tough. But this is just a shallow cross. This isn't played the best by the corner here. This is, I think there's a miscommunication here. He wants, I can't remember what that signal is. I'll have to go back, look that back up again in terms of what they do. But one thing that I do know in Fuller's system is that these hand signals, when one guy hand signals to one of the safeties, they actually have a signal that's supposed to go back. And if you don't get the signal confirmation to close the loop of communication, then you can presume that your signal was not understood. So this here, you don't get the communication. What he wants, he doesn't get the communication back. And there's a particular signal that basically means, yeah, I got you. He doesn't get it. I think he's expecting help probably from here. He doesn't get it. He's got to get better from here, and this ends up being an easy conversion on 3rd and 8. And you can see him, the frustration, like, hey, where are, like, what's going on? Well, you didn't close the communication loop, and this has been a problem on defense all season. It's just the communication thing. It's not bad for Marvin Jones here in terms of the rush, press forward, and then sort of speed to power. Well, without power. So it's speed to inside move, but without power. And then the interior kind of wrecks shop here. Both Farmer and Jackson do their job. And you see Farmer make a play. That's pretty good. You see him just take on this double. And he puts this is not real good footwork from the center. Center kind of gets tripped up here. And he puts him on his butt and winds up getting a sack out of it. Pretty good. Now looking at the back end, you got a late blitz here. They're trying to show one thing and convert into another. So they're showing their usual goal line cover 7, but you know that it's probably not that because of this movement out last second. So they're in true man, but they've got a rat here, so that's what they're in. This is man rat, where you've got a guy responsible for the quarterback. Nicely done. Just a whole player there. All right, so same thing. You got a guy traveling, and they're going to banjo this, but he should be responding. Yep, see right there, you've got a communication. That's fine. It's all pretty good, and this is picked up well. This is just mesh, standard mesh. So what is he? He's probably sitting over the ball. Yep. So mesh rail here, handled pretty well by the backer, who just needs to play over the top. They don't run this mesh very well. This receiver should not be running this close down. The way you're supposed to run this is he's got to hold this line. And the idea is that this guy picks him off and he winds up wide open. Because he's the picker here. And he's the one that's supposed to come open. It's a poor job of execution. And pretty good by the defensive front. Defensive front, once again, handles business. Now, one thing I've noticed with Darrell Jackson, the reason that he has not been quite as impactful as I'd like is actually related to the thing that I criticized him and Farmer for in the offseason, and that's knee bend. He's got to have lower pads here. Eat dirt more. See how high he's standing? He's so powerful that he can get away with this a lot. But when they were doing their workouts in the summer, those guys were not getting the depth on some of the explosive stuff that you're supposed to get. And I was saying, look, you're training yourself to play high. Well, here you go. But the quickness here from Farmer is pretty darn good, and those guys still compress the pocket, and you get another sack for Farmer on that first drive. It's really good. Yeah, I'd like to see lower play from Darrell Jackson. All right, so pretty good for the defense there. All right, so second drive. Now, here's the thing. If I'm Mike Norvell, I actually contemplate going back to my opening script here. Not just resuming my script, but just go back to inside zone, wide zone again. Just run what I ran on the first drive. But they are coming out with a heavier box here. So you see here, you've got your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 in the box with an overhang here. And that's in response to your too tight 1, 2, and then you've only got your twins right here. So when you're doing this, they're bringing the overhang and then they're putting 6 in the box. This should be, based on Florida State's usual system, this should be an automatic pass read on all their run plays. So this should go wide right now. I don't remember. I'm actually watching this fresh for the first time since the day of. So you'll hear my surprise. That should be an automatic pass read in their usual stuff. So yeah, this is an RPO. Is it? Oh. Yeah, that's more than just an RPO. I think this is actually I don't know if that's actually one of their RPOs or if that's a play action. Because that's got full pass routes with it. But there's really nothing that comes open here. And this is where you just get rid of it. Get rid of the football. Don't try to get back to the line of scrimmage. You're taking an unnecessary beating. Like, you are not Michael Vick here. Right now, this ball should go over the head. That should be your target right there. There's nobody open. You're going to get pressure. Live to see another play. I mean, kudos to him to get back to 2nd and 21. But, and of course, this was after that, the penalty that put them 1st and 20. So now you're 3rd and 23, and they're going to be able to tee off up front. They're going to be able to get exotic. This is what you try to avoid. And all they do is hand this off. This is actually a good call. If I'm Mike Norvell and the way that things have worked, just get out of there, give yourself some field position. Not a bad run there on the draw. I mean, they're just kind of sitting. That's okay. Yeah, nothing really to write home about. Now, what's going on up top? You've got just a screen up there, so nothing really. All right. Not great on special teams there. So, all right. So here we've got, what is this? Oh yeah. Okay. So you've got the extra receiver in the backfield here. So they're signaling that they can go triple. They'll do this sometimes where they'll have that with a quarterback keep and then basically a pitch read, and then you'll have a slip and some other possibilities down here. And then this is just the wide zone they like. Right, is that? No, that's inside zone. No, back is on the track of outside. So that's outside zone. And Lolahea here, this is really well done. He should be playing almost every snap on the outside right now. Keeps his outside shoulder clean, takes care of business, tackle for loss because he just does his job. Now, next to him, 95, Lions, that's not the best. It's okay from Farmer. Farmer heavy hands here. Look at that. Boom. That's pretty good. And this is okay from Peyton. Soft once he figures out where the ball is, but, you know, what can you ask? He's got quarterback. All right, so not bad. So now you get your 2nd and 11, and Fuller gets the opportunity to show some specific stuff. And this is a clown show when it comes to execution of the little twists that they're trying to do here. First of all, you get a stumble here because you're not watching the football, and you almost go off. You almost go offside. And what they're trying to do, the design here is he takes the A gap on this side, and you twist around to get a free runner here in the opposite A gap, while he occupies that space between the guard and the. Yeah, you're just trying to get that. Actually, he's got outside. So you're trying to basically bring the guard with you and then get that around. But because it doesn't get executed a little well here, and you get pressed forward a little bit too much by that backer, he stumbles, and instead of coming free, he's blocked. So now the quarterback has enough time to make a clean throw just because of the poor execution. And once again, this is just a he's actually dropping and replacing one of the backers, but he doesn't do you any good there. Nice play by the corner. Get a stop. All right. So this is, what is this, Oakland G? Yeah, this is G or down, where you're gonna. Norvell loves this against odd front looks. You're gonna get that, and then you're gonna get a block here. Should get right there with the tight end, and the idea is that you, because of this X here, you should get a seam right there. And if he tries to press that inside, then you're able to get the edge right there. So that's the design. This is one of my favorite run plays in football. This is a little bit too deep on the pull. And the real issue here is that the tight end here, or no, that's not the right tackle here, just gives up. He does not adequately get across the face, and you get penetration from that 4-eye, from that defensive end, who kind of blows that up. And the other problem is basically here on the interior, Maurice Smith and the other guard, everything gets compressed so much. Watch Smith go down, and the nose is able to work his way through. This is really bad. In terms of execution, I mean, this is actually a fine play call. You just get that cut off, block that out, and if you're just able to use your angle here and here, you should be able to block down on this, block all three of those guys down, and then just get this kick out. This should be fine. Alignment-wise, you expect that, but this is a bad first step from the center, and it's a worse first and second step from this guard here. And they all just go backwards. My goodness. I mean, that's Leonard on his back. Leonard takes down, Smith kind of travels with the nose. That's, y'all, that is really, really bad. And this is a play that is set up to succeed. Here's another one. Watch here. And yes, I mean, look, I'm going to go back one more time. In this, yes, you're running into a heavy box. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But you've got your 6 plus 7, 8. You should be able to run this football even against this look. Now, in their usual situation, he's got the RPO out here if he wants it. So you see these guys out here. Normally that's an RPO, and yeah, there's nothing. This is a clear give read. If they don't, it doesn't even look to me like they've got an RPO on. They normally do. But yeah, they're blocking all the way. This is a clear run read to me. And they've got the numbers to that side. All right, now you're 2nd and 13. This is a pass look to me because you've got, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in the box, second and 13. You've got enough to block this if you feel comfortable. It's kind of a neutral read. So I'm fine with handing this off. And there you go. Okay, so that's fine. But I want you to take note here. Still going backwards on initial snap. Like, why are you standing? Watch the helmets. Stand up. Then it's like a gallop step here almost before getting in. There's no powerful second step. There's no drive forward there. There's a lot of catching happening right now on the offensive line. But that's pretty good from Rob Scott. You've got the angles here, and what really changes here is that they're trying to get a pass rush going with this, and they're able to get, this is not bad by Courtney. He's able to get a double when his guy disappears and then work his way up here, and that's what actually makes the play, and then a nice cut by Toafili. And Toafili should really be, along with Cam Davis, they should be the primary backs right now. Let's see. Oh my God. I didn't see this one before. This is just so bad. I mean, once again, so watch this. This is Robert Scott. Just a whole lot of catching, and look at who's the aggressors here. You got that. You got a double at the top. But somebody missed. My goodness, it's hard to even tell. Like, there's so much bad going on. It's hard to tell what's actually happening. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You've got your overhang that you don't really count because of that. He's really playing as a safety. So you got 7 in the box against your. This is a heavy box look against this, because your tight end is out here, and you're in 11 personnel. Or, well, you're both your tight ends. You're in 12 personnel here. But there's a complete bust here, I think, from the right tackle. I think he's got to. I'm not sure what he's doing. He's crashing down here, and he's coming here, and nobody blocks. Is this a read? Yes, that's a read. Okay. All right, so this is a good read actually by Uyunglele. You can tell I haven't watched this since the opening. So you got, this is just what indie back go with a screen up top. And this is designed to give you actually a nice look for the tight end. You got your 2 tight ends out here blocking DBs. This is supposed to be clean, because now you've got tight ends blocking DBs. They should win those matchups, and you have a tight end whiff. If he makes that block here, now you've got a guy coming vertical, and you try to outrun this guy. Instead, no gain. All right. This is just a little counter slip. This is a nice look. Just trying to hide that tight end. Nice move. Gets out of bounds. That's a good call. Well executed. What was this? Okay, so this is a total bust by your quarterback. This is 3rd and 4. And this is inside zone. And you've got 3rd and 4. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then almost kind of a hangover. That's 8.5 in the box. And you've got, your 7 blockers, your back, and your quarterback. You got 8.5 in the box. You got 2/2 out here playing off on 3rd and 4, and you're going to hand this ball off? Baby, what is you doing? This has got to come out here right now. This should be block here, come right out here. You've got a 215-pound wide receiver on this. Come forward, make the block, and it's a one-on-one with this guy. What in the world? Right there. I mean, look at this. Runs it right into a wall. This is set up to fail just by numbers. But even at that, this is blocked as though it's a zone read. He's released. And because he doesn't make the right read and get it out here, there's just an unblocked guy. My goodness. No urgency from 7 there. Now this is pretty good from... This is the athleticism that had people pretty encouraged early on, just in terms of, on the hoof stuff for Riley. Still has to make that tackle a little bit more cleanly, but, pretty good quickness. All right, 1st and 10. Now, this guy's been playing football. I'm going to give him credit. That's Farmer. See him play low, get off the ball. He's in his gap, gets upfield, and opens this up for the backer. Now they've got a little pull here. So this is just this is dart, really, actually a version of that, or is this just? Yeah, this is just I would call that dart, even though normally darts with a tackle. It's 5-man run. Linebacker here. He's the conflict player. So what they're doing here, you got your 3/3 with the safety. They're going to have this be the read. He's your conflict player because he's the overhang. They're essentially trying to run this into here and force him to come in here and defend out here. He does a good job of staying there, but now he's got to trigger this. He's got to hit this a little harder. Don't sit and wait. The reason they do all those cat and mouse things is so that he actually is attacking that hip and should be making contact right here. Not quite so far upfield, but still gets tackle. Nice blitz there nice blitz call by Fuller, and not bad by Riley, but gets himself blocked down. Problem here is that you all season have not been able to handle the little slip here, this guy here, as you're coming out. And this should be, depending on how they're doing it, it's either here or here that's your responsibility for this guy as he's coming across. Because you've got this blitz, normally he's going to be responsible for this. If he's got the blitz, then it's probably here or here that's going to be exchange on that. Yeah, and he's on the back. So here's your problem. Only other way you're doing this is if he's going to be responsible coming down. Let's see. No. What? And this is the other thing is at this point, if you're the safety, you shouldn't be coming downhill here. You've got help here. You need to be finding work down the line of scrimmage and figuring out where you're at. But either way, you've got a completely uncovered guy for an easy first down conversion. That's way too easy for a veteran quarterback. It's pretty good by Peyton. Slap the hands. Wins with the hands right there. Slaps across. Gets the spin move and then finds the ball. That's pretty good. Also take note here. You've got one of the young guys here. I think he moves pretty well. Not quite as bulky as some of the older guys, but Sampson's got some potential. I like what I see from him. And his job here is just to press the V between these two to allow your designated pass rusher who's on the outside here. He's got a two-way go out here. Your job is just to press this and to make sure that nothing big opens up here. And that's pretty good. I mean, I'm pretty pleased by the young guy there. All right. Screen here, well identified. You can tell that they actually read their play sheets this week, did their scouting. Nicely done there by 3 guys. And then, of course, you have Riley go down. I'm not sure what the injury is there, but that hurt them because he was actually playing pretty well. And see, this is where being a little slower on the release hurts you. He's got to get that ball out a little quicker. But this is an automatic, once again, numbers call. You see the box here. There's nothing. This is dead to the bottom because you have essentially 2 over 3, and it's kind of tight. And he can kind of be in your box count as well. But you've got your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the inside, 6 against 5 plus your 6th back. And then you have 1, 2, and your second one is way out here, 10 yards, 11 yards off. This is an automatic. You just block here, right here, and then this should be 6, 7 yards, and you're getting one of your fastest players the football. This should be a big play. Instead, I have no idea what Ja'Kai Douglas is doing here, but this should have been a pick 6. He's actually waiting on the football here. And if he looks back here, that's a pick 6. He's actually there before the football because there's no effort to actually block here. And he's playing tight, so all you have to do, find basic mass, just get your hands on him at all, and you're giving your guy a chance. Instead, Brown actually gets hurt here. Look at this. And there's no effort to recover after he misses. To me, like, that's one you're not playing next week. I'll play one of the young guys. I'll just say this. If an old guy is going to do this, if a veteran is going to do this, there's no reason for me not to play my young guys. And you've heard me for a long time talk about how, you don't play young receivers because they're not ready. They don't really know how to play the position and all that. If this is what you're getting from your older guys, go ahead and play those young guys because they're not going to do anything worse than this. And if they're more talented, then you get more out of them. At least they're getting better. This right here, this is loser blood right there. Start playing the young guys over the old guys if they're going to do that. This is awful. So the basics here, this is, you've got a version of dagger here on this side, and then you've got another vertical here. This is going up the inside seam, then you got the basic, and then you've got an inside stem corner route out here, and this is against what they want you to think is a single safety look, but he actually drops and becomes a cover 2 player. He becomes a cover 2 corner, so this is a hard corner. And then this corner is flat, but because there's no flat threat, he just drops. So what you're looking for if you're DJU here, you recognize the safeties going split. So you find your backside safety, which is this guy. When he starts to widen, you have to find out whether this guy is sinking or not. You don't have a flat threat. So if he opens his shoulders, which he's done here, and starts to go with your guy, that's dead because you know that this is out here, safety's over top, corners underneath, no place to go. So now your options are here, here, and here. And the way this is going to work, this is Tampa 2 because the mic is actually working back. You're going to carry the vertical all the way. And so that's what you got. Now we're gonna see what blows this up is a sort of not the best pass set. So he's not very square when he hits the back. See him kind of allow his hips to kind of work that way. If he stays a little more square here when he gets this inside move, you just punch him and just kind of keep him on there. But you got a soft inside shoulder again, which has been a problem for early before. He's going to work his way to the inside, taking that soft inside shoulder. It's exactly how I would have attacked him based on prior film. And now you get the rush, and the rush actually gets to his arm, ball flutters, and that gets to be a pick. Now, do they have the... Yeah, here's the back view. And you can see what he's seeing. So as soon as he starts to widen, as soon as he starts to go back, this is dead. So now you've got the seam, you've got the other seam that's kind of widening, and then it's up over here. Both of those are, covered by the deep safety that's out here, unless he's able to win to the middle, because this is not going to take that, and this over here is not going to take it. So what DJ likes is his matchup of Morlock against this guy. He thinks he can take that and throw that into a vertical. And if he's able to sit and settle, that's actually not the worst idea here. You can see he's even, he's leaving. You give your guy a chance. Now, I'd like that ball to be out earlier. I mean, there's no reason he can't set small steps, set and throw now if he wants to do that. The real problem is setting up here and trying to throw this off the back foot and how long this ball takes to get out. Once you've been affected by this enough, the right play here is just get out here. There's nobody out here. So now reset this, make a play on the run, and the thing that you're going to expect to see actually in this, because this is Tampa 2 and he's running with him, and you've got the cover 2 safeties, what you're going to see is the basic clearing right into here. That right there, if he's able to scramble out here, so don't stop, just start taking off now. And if nothing opens up, then you just kind of run with this guy and you get a few yards, get back to the, get to the sticks and run out of bounds ideally. Otherwise, you just run out here and you wait for your basic because this guy's clearing. Wait for your basic and try to hit it right in here. You get a 30, 40-yard gain out of that. But instead, you set up and try to do this and it turns into an arm punt. But you can see the basic's going to come wide open. That's going to be open. It's not the worst decision in the world in terms of read-wise. That's your sort of second guy you're coming across the field to, but I think this is the more ideal thing. And once you're impacted by the offensive line giving up pressure, just make it out here. And you're going to have this come and clear. Understand the concepts and how they're working with you. It's just not great. There's no sense of urgency there from the quarterback position in terms of the footwork. Not too bad. Okay, 3rd and 1 here. So if the backers hit this just right, so you got one that just kind of misses. If he hits this with a little more urgency and hits this gap just right, the defensive tackle won for you. Got to attack this a little harder downhill. This is one where, original Marvin Jones, not the one that's on the team now, but a shade tree. This is a 2-yard loss and the running back's out for the game. Instead, this is kind of an illustration of where Florida State's at right now. Backer hits him at the line of scrimmage and it's a 4-yard gain. Look at the effort here from up front. And I got you. Oh, no. Just stand up. Okay, well, nothing. They got their butts kicked up front on this play. Plenty of time to throw whatever you want. And frankly, I mean, it's not terrible coverage. Could be in better position. He's out of phase, but it's a great throw. It's just a inside leverage. and he's playing through that rub. Sometimes you're going to give this up. I mean, that's just a great throw and catch. Tip your cap. Expect the pass rush to help you out there a little bit. And once again, if you want to get an easy completion or, first down out of Florida State, just slip the H back on outside or on split zone action. Should be quarterback or should be one of the backers here. Now he's trying to spill this and he's expecting to get contact, and you can see, didn't get the contact I expected. Didn't make the tackle that he should have made there either. The way this should go, you should get a backer that is exchanging here. And there's confusion here. This should be traded off too. So he's coming in expecting to handle that. It should be right there as well. So who was in on that last one? So I don't know why at this point they're even playing Earl Little. Knowles has been really good at that position. Earl Little has been pretty awful since arrival. The athleticism is there, but the light's not going all the way to the top. And this is just super straightforward. This is just zone, and you see them communicating. Outside, outside, outside. You're the outside guy. So in the way that this is designed initially, he's trying to communicate. Okay, we got this. We're going to handle, he goes inside, I take whoever comes out, etc. You're communicating there. That's fine. When he steps inside, you've got to get your eyes to whoever might replace him. And then when these guys are communicating, you've got to get outside right away. Instead, he's sitting. He should be almost on the hash at this point so that he's got the angle. And now I'm not sure what he's doing, but that's not a good effort to tackle. And he's been terrible in cat and mouse stuff in practice anyway. So they picked right on him, and he's been bad. Not sure how often he'd see the field unless I had a significant lead right now. All right, second quarter. Can't believe we've gone this long so far. So they're trying to run. This is a big play deal. They're trying to get this done. And they just flat out get bust. This is a bust up front. They just get whipped. And this is straight offensive line getting whipped. Whoa, that is so bad. Okay, so, yeah, wow. It's worse than I thought it'd be. So the way this works, they're running a little twist here. So you've got an ET twist. So he goes first and then he loops. The way this works, or the way it's supposed to work, is when he comes inside, the offensive tackle works with him coming to the inside, and you're trying to essentially stay on the same level or similar level as your guard. If you're a little behind him, that's fine. But as he comes through, he's on your inside shoulder, and you just keep working him to the inside. And then if the guard sees the loop, he's communicating, and you may not hear him, but the way that this works is the guard, his shoulder should contact the offensive tackle's shoulder. They basically bump. And they pass off so that, he shoves the guy he's responsible for at that moment into the guard, and the guard now takes him over, and then with the contact of the shoulder, he just bumps out, and now you take him. What happens here is the offensive tackle, notice he widens with a kick step, and the guard just stays put. The kick step opens this seam. So now he's going to have to come inside quickly. And he's just continuing to retreat and opens that soft shoulder inside. So now he's, instead of staying square where those two shoulders just connect and you just push off and now work your way back, you've now opened a seam here. So this is allowing penetration here. The other thing is that the guard, there's so much space here now that the guard, as this has worked off, he's still pushing. He's actually making his way around before he ever gets his hands to him. And the guard never actually works his way all the way this way. So when you see this moving this way, he's got to start getting to the guy that's going to be coming from the outside. These two never smack shoulders, never close that space, which then allows for just easy penetration. This happens at the top too, where the center just gets whipped, and you get two guys getting to the quarterback just easily. Oh my goodness. So watch. See that big gap with the kick step and then staying here? And he's locked onto here instead of working your way to here and looking to help. That's just terrible pass off from the tackle and the guard. Wow, it's really bad. Okay, it's not the worst outside blocking we've seen. So if he'd have done that in the first half, then that other one might have scored. That's a really tough throw. That's a great throw. Just a little roll. Little roll flood. That's fine. Nice throw. Just a little inside stem to the deep out. Yep. Piece of cake. What's wild here, this should not be open, first of all. So first of all, you get the pass off. He's got to find, so in terms of matching this is fine. He's supposed to take this. You just communicated that this is your guy. You can't be halfway there. He's got to get further over now. It's empty. If the quarterback's going to run, you can get back to him. He's not a runner anyway. Got to be out here. This should be picked. Quarterback just does a good job of getting this off quickly. See how quickly he gets that out. And now run to his front hip, not the back hip. Both guys run to the wrong side, take each other out. And you get just, kind of lousy tackling. And you can see here the lack of effort from a guy that doesn't want a lot of contact. At a certain point, what we talked about when he was first in the transfer portal, does Marvin Jones Jr. like to play football? One of the things they did a great job of in the transfer portal before this season is the guys that they brought in were all guys who love to play football and love to work. And they found guys that were culture fits in that respect. And if there's anything that I think they didn't do as well this cycle in terms of evaluation, it was that. I think their process, they kind of got screwed up in that distinct area. So 4th and 2 here. This is a really nicely designed play. Essentially here, you just get two guys running with one, and the safety gets stuck. So let's see this assignment. So you got fib formation into the boundary with quads. That always screws some things up. And you're trying to assess who's outside, who's inside. He should be, I think this is a corner that should be taking here. So he should be coming off. When he comes inside, he should be releasing him to him. Corner should be taking the vertical. So these two are on the same guy. And I think he should be here. Fortunate that wasn't caught. Doesn't matter, but they can't run counter. I don't even know why they try. What is Robert Scott doing here? So again, the basics here. Now, first of all, I mean, this isn't great from the guard. He's too deep. And then it doesn't look like he knows who he's supposed to block. Just get to the end, and if there's a kick out, you kick him out, and if not, then you just keep going. But here, it looks like he doesn't know where he's supposed to go. So he kind of gets lost. And then Robert Scott, I'm not sure why he's trying to turn this up inside. There's no kick out. So he should be here a little quicker, but that's fine to get here. And then Robert Scott's got to get on the outside. It takes him forever to get there, and then he just falls down. And that was one of the better counters they've run all year. All right, so just a little boot. A little boot run here. And yet again, a good example of you've got a back and a back. You got to make one block. One guy trying to block there, another guy trying to make the same block. Both guys whiff. And that's the guy that makes the play. I mean, thing is, DJ does a great job getting close to a first down here, despite making a guy miss. He doesn't look agile, but that's a pretty good run right there. 2 missed blocks on the same guy. And now you get your 4th and 1. DJ again making a play as a runner. I can live with that. I almost scored, actually. Still nothing. And this is just, again, this is really poor here. This is a fair catch. You're yelling, Peter, 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 and you still are blocking. What are you doing blocking? Just let him run into him. Peter, Peter, Peter. This is what you're supposed to do. He sees the fair catch. He hears the Peter. Get out of there. Get out of there. Get away. He sees him. You just got to peel off, dude. This is really good by the veteran quarterback. Nice pump. Sidearm. Get that out. Just inside zone with an insert. On 4th and 1, they went big. Extra lineman, it looks like, as a, well, is that a tight end? Yeah, he's got a tight end number. It's one of their bigger tight ends. Just got bullied. Say what you want. Farmer brought it in this game. The energy's there. He's not the problem. There's just really there's no real coordination up front in terms of executing these stunts. And this, by the way, is how this is supposed to be done. If you want to watch how to pick up an ET stunt, in here and here, they're doing the same stunt. Watch the set. He gets his depth. Now watch how these guys pass this off. He recognizes him inside. There's no soft shoulder, so watch how he keeps his hips square to the line of scrimmage, and his shoulders are more square. Makes contact, and he's pretty square, and then sets that up. He's got a hard inside leg. Sets that up, and now they bang shoulders. And that means work your way back out, get to this guy, and you've moved him over. That's excellent. That's how that's supposed to be done. Bang shoulders, work your way out. That's textbook. Once again, you get a tight end, and who do they have? You got either a miscommunication. What do you have here? Two guys covering the same guy. So he both cover the vertical. So he runs at the vertical, and he runs at the vertical. Nobody runs out here. I'm just going to go out on a limb and say that the problem is going to be little here, because my suspicion is every time that he's on the field, there's problems. So you got lucky that didn't score. And they're losing at the point of attack here and then just sitting. So this is one of the problems that I see with the Florida State pass rush right now, is if they're not winning on the first move, they're done. So watch this right here. He kind of takes him, and he's going to try to win to the inside. And now they're just standing up next to each other. And there's nobody that's actually getting into the backfield. There's no real stringing of anything together. And they're letting themselves get bunched up. And once again, you're going to give a guy 3rd and 5, and he can sit back there and eat a sandwich. That's good coverage. Like, you can't blame the secondary on that. That's plenty of space. Now, you've got a little rat here from this side. This time, at least, he finds his way to the middle of the field, and he matches the mesh. And this is essentially a super mesh, because you've got a lot of traffic here. You've got 1 shallow, 2 shallows, a Hank here, and then there's another. Actually, I think he's the Hank. The OTB. Okay, so he's the OTB, and then he's just carrying through. So they're just trying to create a bunch of stuff. This is handled really well by the back 7 in terms of how they pass this off. But it's just not quite enough. And, the quarterback with no pressure finds a very small window. And then right here, we get to see how much a guy just does not like contact, doesn't like the game of football very much. It's embarrassing for a defensive end. Second and 10, drop in the end again. And here, once again, what I don't like is the ends are just standing in the hole here, and they're watching the quarterback. I want my end to get back here and try to find crossers with their eyes. Find him. Turn into a backer a little bit. This is something you need to practice, because he's useless there. And then missed tackle, another missed tackle, and you give up a 2nd and 10. If you're going to do that, you might as well not drop a guy. Let him rush. Get a 5th rusher out of him rather than just, an ineffective guy in what I would call no man's land as a coverage guy. All right, so you've got split zone. This is outside zone. That's not a great rep from KJ Sampson here. Kind of gets manhandled there by the guard, along with the tackle. That's a really good combo block. Tackle is able to get up to 2nd level here. Safety has to trigger and make this tackle a little earlier. Got to make the tackle in general. It's pretty good from Jackson to get there, but it's well blocked. Just not good enough, not being the aggressors on the defensive line. Let's look at that last one. Man, they're not that big, but they're just well coached on the interior. Florida State should not be losing those battles in the trenches there. That's not bad from Sampson there. Actually got the penetration. Create a problem. Good pursuit. I like that rep from Sampson. But here's where you've got to have the guy in the end. This is Turner. Quarterback's his the whole way. They finally actually defended the slip. Quarterback is Turner's the whole way. This should be a tackle for loss right there. Just stay on your assignment. Don't leave your outside responsibility. It's 7 yards when it should be a tackle for loss, and that's just kind of where they're at right now. Okay, look, that's pretty good on the interior. Who is that inside? Oh, they went big. Yeah, that's pretty good. Just stood those guys up, and he ran into a wall. That's Farmer, Jackson, all those guys. Sampson there, pretty good. Couple yards in the backfield, and then this is just a disaster. So nice job here. They've got a little tight end leak, so you get this, block and then release. The goal is to get him to forget his responsibility, to start working up the field because he sees through the tight end. But once he releases, you should feel this, and you got to get back on that because here's your quarterback responsibility. It's just poor. Now, I do think, ideally, this guy's a backer instead of a defensive end, who's probably better able to do that. But they don't have the bodies on the roster to be able to do that in this setup. But yeah, he cannot false step that. They're playing with this the whole way. He's got to be able to see that there's a release there, and you don't turn and run this way. You've got to turn and get your body that way. But how often is that guy in single coverage? Not that much. Nice concept. Sometimes you tip your cap, but still not great execution from the defense there. Here you finally get a hard play action, and you let DJ for the first time this year do what you brought him in to do, and that is throw it deep. It's the right choice. I know some people talked about this up here as a, that opens up. And it does. It opens up, but it's only appearing as open as it does because this safety is about right here when this ball is released. So he's covering there. This is a middle of the field read the whole way. So take a look at this safety open. As soon as you see that, he's going to have that leverage. Now your question is the backside safety. Is he playing down or is he playing over the top? He came down to handle other things. You're going to be able to throw that over him. And you get to see some of the athleticism there from Benson. So this is your read here. As soon as you see the other safety come this way, he's coming this way, and you think you can get that over top of him. He's playing over this one. The whole goal here, stomp that, force him to pay attention to you because you got this coming behind you. And it's over. It's a good read, on time. Nice ball. Oh, what a mess. Just a total bust here. And you got, these are third and fourth year players that are making these mistakes. Right here, there's your man. You got here. I don't know what he's doing looking out here, but the count is from the center. So 1, 2, 3. There's your guy in this play. And instead, he takes the step out, and he's looking for out here. I don't know why, because it's just 1, 2, 3. Easy. And they just give a free runner. And yet, somehow, got to give Roydell Williams credit. He hadn't broken a tackle coming into this game. He gets about 6 yards after contact. But if this is blocked correctly, and you block him here, now you're reading this guy. And he's trying to pull this, by the way. So DJ's trying to pull this, but Roydell clamped down on him because this is a pull read. This is run correctly. This is a pull. He's getting tackled, and he's running out here. This might score, even with the bad block. And you see DJ turning, going, all right, well, play action. I don't like the run call here from 2nd and 4. Probably shouldn't say this because if I ever get back into coaching and somebody goes back and does the homework and looks at some of these things, I'm not a strong believer in running the football on 2nd and 4 from the goal line area unless you are really running it well. And they're running down here or, G, just, again, down, down. Get your kick out. And that should have hit a little bit better, but that's how that should have looked earlier. That was fine. Still compressed too much here on the inside. I mean, Maurice Smith kind of getting pushed around there. Part of the problem that you're seeing right now for Florida State is that, 5 years into things, you're still essentially starting guys that, you tried to recruit over 3 years ago, 4 years ago, and you haven't been able to develop replacements for. All right, so you got total bust here. Who's the... You got 2 busts. Somebody's wrong here. Somebody has to take him. I don't know if it's a peel read. I think based on what they're doing here, this is probably a peel read here where he has to peel. But I'm not sure. I can't see the back because of the inexcusably tight camera angles, and I haven't gone back and taken a look at that with any other angle. Oh, it's so soft. That's Lolahea. So you got a little TE here, TE stunt, and Lolahea is in position to make the tackle there, but just kind of not strong enough. And that's kind of been a problem. Same TE stunt. Not too bad there. Now, again, the real thing here is that they're handling the communication pretty well on the back end. So that was improved for the most part in this game. They were better there. Nice throw and catch. So this is just a situation where, once again, you have Little on the field, which means that they're going to get a long third down conversion, even if it's not his fault. They bring pressure. Quarterback just makes a play. I mean, at a certain point, like that, this is a tip your cap play, in my opinion. They're on scholarship too. Pretty good there. Won't complain there. Nothing to... And see, they're starting to bring more pressure here. So they're bringing 5. You like the force here. That's a hold all the way. This should have been called as a hold over here. And it was, but that's an even better interception by Cryer. That's a great play. One of the things that's encouraging here is that not only does he recognize this crosser, but he's fast enough to get on his horse and get back there and then make the play. And this guy needs to play more. It's really just an ISO play here, isn't it? With no real vertical displacement, but... Or is that just... Yeah, it's inside zone with an insert. Counter, and you can rest assured somebody's going to bust. So this time, counter should be kick out that first guy you see right here. Kick him out. Then as soon as that happens, he reads up inside. Neither one blocks the first guy. And even better, the backer who recognizes that this is counter gets a free run through because he should be blocking him. So neither guy blocks the first guy, neither guy blocks the second guy. Why even run this play at this point? Yeah. Give DJ credit. He actually threw a spiral here on the run, and that's drops that in a very, very small, throws that into a small window. Boy, when Benson gets a chance to flash the speed, you really see why they wanted him and why they liked him so much. He just hasn't had much chance. All right, so what do they have here? Perfectly fine. Good read. That's a great tackle. They really tackled well. Memphis did a great job on that. Yep, you can live with all this. This is okay. Now, you don't want that leakage on the inside. There's a bit of a whiff there. But with the hard play action, you hold him. Not bad. You get your big receiver with the one-on-one. You can take that. Not bad on first down. You can live with that. Now here, honestly, this, to me, this is a screen read. Because of what you have here, I think he's close enough that you're looking at this if you believe that he can make the block. The problem is that, they're able to do this without paying for it. In this offense, this should be a block, catch the football, 7, 8, 10, 12 yards and score. Still a really good run against the loaded box. What was the actual run call? Because you're going 5 on 6.5 in the box here. And what they're doing, the 3-3 stack, what makes it so difficult is that they're trying to take up an extra guy with just the angles that they're playing on the inside so that they can free up an extra unblocked player on the edge. Cam just wins that one-on-one there and then gets himself some yardage. That's pretty solid. It's a good play there. So now you're first and goal from the 3 and you don't score a touchdown. I'm fine with handing it off here, but this is once again, this is just a, wow. So there's a miscommunication here somehow. So I think he should be coming here and he should be working up or he should be working up to there and then he should be getting the kick out. But looks to me like, I don't know if that's Jackson West. He runs by the edge guy who then there's just no seam on down G. Okay, this is really bad. So you've got a one-on-one over here, and this is going to turn into this. So you're going to work this side first. If nothing opens over here, you come back to this. And if it's not there, you throw it out here. What you can't do, knowing what they've got on the rush, they're rushing 4, 5, and then they've got a spy. You're not going to run this. And certainly not going to run it this way. If you're going to leak anywhere, you're going to have to leak this way and then kind of work your way back. But he should not be pulling this ball at all. And this cost him a touchdown, really. I mean, this is the difference between scoring and a field goal. And the way that this worked is that this comes open right here at the last instant. I want you to see right now, right there, it's open. Throw it to the edge, and if he hadn't brought his eyes down, if he just sits just a split second longer, he can just put that out here. Don't even have to put a lot on it, and your big receiver goes and gets it. And now the defense is starting to give. Split zone. And by now they're basically out of linebackers. and somebody's out of the gap here. They're able to get a guard to the second level and get onto a safety. So you can see this. They're trying to jump here, and that should put him here and him here, him here, and there. But they're going to get the split guy coming across. This should be here and here. So this one, actually he's coming here. And they're actually bringing the safety for that. And they're trying to keep, I see what they're doing. Okay. So up front, they're gap exchanging this. And so they're going here. He's taking the outside quarterback. He's finally, they're handling that with that. There, and there. And the guy that loses is a safety here. Now, part of the problem is your gap. So you got a defensive tackle out of his gap. He's got to be attacking this shoulder because he actually has the gap between these players so that he can take the gap here, and this guard has to be occupied. When he jumps a little too far outside, he ends up being taken by the tackle with no help needed from the guard. So now the guard can work up, and the guard is able to get onto this backer, is actually able to work all the way up to the safety who's responsible for this. So there's a little bit of a mess that happens up here simply because your defensive tackle gets pushed out here. He's already got contain. He's now in contain role. He's got the H-back gap. And basically nobody has this gap, which has now been created as he comes to here, and he's able to slide into that gap. So it's just slightly out of gap by you hop out, but then as soon as they're zone inside here, you got to get back here hard. You cannot let yourself get turned there. This is a big win for the tackle. It's pretty good by Hussey not to give up a touchdown there. Much better played. Have a back end of that. Nope. So on this one, it's not split zone, but again, this is outside zone, and they do a good job working down everybody in their gap, except for Marvin Jones Jr., who gets pushed down. And that's fine from Peyton, who up until... So you want Peyton sliding down the line of scrimmage, but you don't want him getting too far, and then you see him just kind of get lazy here at the end and lay out. But it doesn't matter. Kirkland's in the backfield. Is pretty good. And here, 4th and 3, the frustrating thing for me is ideally you don't want to give them a spread situation where they can isolate on your backer. I would like to see this and this. The reason is you cannot ask this guy to cover that. You've got to get this down and let him be the guy to cover that. Play single high, 4th and 3. You cannot do this because he just can't run well enough to cover that, and they know it. And that's a pretty good effort from Kevin Knowles. He's just not big enough to ultimately do that, but he gave everything he had there. That's a good effort. And you see him, they're, bump. He's got to be out there faster. I mean, part of it's a speed thing. Part of it is he's just a step slow, step late, but in terms of recognition. And finally, once again, we have here nice little little pull here. And let's see. So again, I'm not sure who's out of gap here. Looks to me like KJ is supposed to have this gap, and then when this opens, you've got a backer that's supposed to come over because this guard trades. Now that should be here, and he's wrong shoulder. Yep, that's what happens. Okay. So that's okay from KJ. It looks to me like they're jimmying this on this side, so trying to play that both directions. But one thing I want to highlight here, see this? He is standing straight up. It's something you do not see Jared Verse do at any point last year. See that? He's just playing straight up. We didn't see the most significant play in the fourth quarter here, and that's the punt where you had the offsides. I don't know why they didn't put that on the condensed, but yeah, that was the ball game. Trying to get vertical here. And this is where, he does not have any sense of blitzers or who's around. He has no apparent idea that the fifth guy that they're bringing six. This is a green dog here, so he's man to man with him. When he blocks, he's coming. But they've got another blitzer here, and I don't think he has any conception that blitzer exists, because he's signaling and everything without realizing that there's anybody there. I just don't think he's aware. And this really should be going into this area on the one-on-one. Make him commit pass interference. And again, you just gotta get rid of this. And part of this is the slow release and slow-footedness. Can't get away. And there's just not much to do. So turning them loose. Let's look at the protection here. There's just one-on-ones across the board, and they're bringing one more than you got from this side. So they're just bringing an extra. It's late. So they're bringing 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 to get you isolated. You got your play action, and the place that you're going to get the leakage is way over here opposite the play action, little field blitz. So really that the guy that's got to get back over here is Toafili, but that's hard to see because it's late and it's coming from somewhere that you're not really looking. So yeah, they just bring one more than they've got really blocked because of where the play action's going and all that. And there's, not much to do. Now, looking from the backside here, the matchup that I want, just let it loose and see if your fast wide receiver can go up and get it out here. You got it one-on-one. And one of the things that I'm getting a little frustrated by is the unwillingness to just let your guys win one-on-ones. I mean, I'm beyond ready for the Jeff Bowden offense. Just play a bunch of, jump balls or one-on-ones, back shoulders, and just give your guys chances to do that. There's no questioning this guy's ability to throw it far. But that'll do it. That was painful. I will be back with y'all in audio form here soonish. Thanks.